What's up? I'm Kendra Perry, online business strategist for health and wellness coaches and practitioners. And maybe you're new and you're starting a business, and maybe you kind of assumed when you were starting out, you're like, I just need to put up this Facebook page, tell people I'm doing my thing, and these people are gonna come running. Well, I don't know if that's been your experience. It probably hasn't. If it has, send me a message because you're a unicorn. But I get it, because I totally thought this was how it was gonna be when I started my business, because I was so passionate about health coaching, and I was like, oh, I'll just tell people that, hey, I'm a health coach and I wanna help you with your health, and people would just be like so into it. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So starting a new business is really complex. It's really confusing, especially if you have no formal business training, like I didn't when I started. So in this business, I'm gonna tell you the exact places that you need to start in your new health and wellness business. And guys, I have just one quick favor before we get started. If you're a health coach, health practitioner, someone who is a coach working in the health and wellness space, and you want to learn how to build a business, you want to learn how to build a business and generate a consistent 5K per month and eventually 5 figures per month, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell. And that just means you'll get notified because I post new videos every single Thursday. Okay, so the 5 pillars I'm going to teach you today come directly from my signature program, the Health Coach Accelerator Method. So this is my program. I'm gonna be re-releasing it very soon. And basically what we do is we take scared, scattered, clueless health coaches and turn them into confident and high-performing health entrepreneurs. So I'm pulling these 5 pillars right from that content. Okay, so pillar number 1, and this often surprises people, is mindset. So actually building a business is pretty objective. It's mostly just data and numbers and feedback and analyzing what's working and trying things out and, seeing what's working, seeing what's not working. That whole part of things is not actually that difficult. What really gets new coaches, because they're completely unexpecting it, is the mindset. Right? They don't realize that building a business basically unearths all your insecurities, and it's a reflection of your inner world, right? Because you're gonna get rejected. Someone's gonna write a negative post on your social media. You're gonna feel frustrated. You're not gonna know where your next paycheck is coming, and you're not gonna know how to get out there and find new clients. So it can be a big head fuck, and that's usually what throws new health coaches off. So in Health Coach Accelerator, we actually start with mindset because it is that important. If you don't have the proper mindset, then building a business is gonna be really hard. And that will actually be the reason you give up. Because the truth is, I have no formal business training. I have no business training. When I started a business, I was in the same position as you without any of that knowledge, and you can learn it. Anyone can learn it who is dedicated to mastering and learning it, right? But it's the mindset, because it's hard and it's uncomfortable and all these things are gonna come up that you didn't even know were there. It's all gonna get triggered when you start your online business. This is your warning. So I'm actually gonna tell you what I call the 7 brain blocks that you might encounter as you build a new business. So number 1 is scarcity, right? This feeling of there's never enough, there's not enough clients, or maybe the fact that someone else is doing well means that there's less clients, less money, less success for you. The truth is, if you want to build a business, you really have to come at it from a place of abundance. And more importantly, you can't become a fortune teller about other people's bank accounts. This is what a lot of new coaches do, is they assume what people can and cannot afford, even though you actually have no idea what's going on in someone else's bank account. So the truth is, there's lots of money to go around, there's lots of clients to go around, and if you approach your business from a place of abundance, then you can get any of those things. The second brain block is this fear of putting yourself out there. So it's scary to put yourself online to a bunch of strangers because of that fear of judgment, right? You're like, what are people gonna think of me? What are my friends gonna think? What's my mom gonna think, right? Are people gonna judge me? And the truth is, yes, they are gonna judge you, but they're gonna judge you no matter what you do. So you might as well just show up and kind of push through that fear of putting yourself out there and know that people are gonna judge you no matter what. And if you can truly learn to let go of judgment, then, well, I think you're gonna achieve ultimate freedom, not only in your business, but also in life, but that is a very important thing. Number 3 is imposter syndrome. And this is the feeling of feeling like, who are you to be out there teaching this stuff? who are you to call yourself an expert, and this feeling of being a fraud. So the really interesting thing about imposter syndrome is it's normal. And if you're experiencing it, you are exactly where you should be, because only people who step outside their comfort zone will experience imposter syndrome. And you can't build a business inside your comfort zone. It's just not possible. You're going to have to step outside that. So the fact that you might be experiencing this feeling of being a fraud, it's actually completely normal. And it means that you're doing what you should be doing. Okay. So it might look like feeling the need to get another health certification or some more continuing education in health. And that's going to maybe give you confidence and make you feel like less of an imposter. But the truth is, the only thing that's going to give you confidence inside your business is experience. So getting out there and working with clients. So don't delay doing that. You don't need another health coaching certification. You actually just need to get out there, be uncomfortable, and do the work. The fourth brain block is perfectionism. And I think a lot of us are conditioned within society to be perfectionists, right? We're people pleasers. We want everything to be perfect. And a lot of us maybe think we can basically create this perfect business behind the scenes and then launch it, right? So if you're someone who's spending days on creating social media content and nothing ever feels quite perfect enough to actually put out there into the world, then you are suffering from perfectionism, which is really just another word for procrastination. So the truth is, you can't build a perfect business. Building an online business is mostly about trying things and testing things to see if they work, right? So the first time you try something, it can never be perfect. And that's okay. It shouldn't be perfect. Really, you want to just put imperfect things out into the world and then see what sticks and see what is going to work, and then make new decisions based off of that new information that you have. The next brain block is what I call egoism. So egoism is just kind of thinking it's all about you. Like the reason people aren't doing the things you want them to do, like signing up for sales calls, like, taking action on your social media content, is because they don't like you and you're making it all about you. But the truth is, everyone has so much complex stuff going on in their life, right? Everyone's lives are really intense. They got a lot going on. Like, they don't have time to think about you. Nobody's really thinking about you who is outside your close friends and family, right? So the truth is, it's not about you, and you really can't take it personal. When things don't work inside your business, it doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't mean that you suck or you're unlikable or you're a shitty person. It just means that you got to try new things, and basically you're just getting data. It's not a personal attack on you. It just means that something didn't land with your audience. It's okay. You can use that as information to figure out what does. The sixth brain block is analysis paralysis. So it's over analyzing everything with you really never taking action on everything. It might look like, well, should I choose this niche or this niche? And which is the better niche? I don't know. Maybe it's this, but maybe I should try this, but this one might be better than this one, but people might like this one more. Like, you can analyze until the cows come home, and you will never have your answer until you actually just do it and see what works, right? So do not get stuck in this circle of analysis paralysis, because really it's just going to lead to you not taking any action. You really just have to throw things out there in order to get any answers on whether it's going to feel like a better fit and be a better fit for your audience. And the final brain block is this lack of self-worth, this not enoughness. Not feeling like we're good enough to receive money for what we're doing, and this constant state of doubting ourselves, right? And it's normal, right? Especially if you are a woman, we are conditioned most of our life to think we're not enough, we're not skinny enough, we're not pretty enough, we're too this, we're not enough of this, right? Like, that's very much ingrained into likely how a lot of us were raised. And it's going to get triggered as you build a business. It's normal, but you have to be able to recognize it, see it, and let it pass, and then move forward anyways. Now, the primary thing to embrace in any new business, this is a really important mindset to embrace, is this mindset of information and testing. Everything you do in your business is just collecting information and testing, right? You will never know if something's going to work until you put it into action and until you are willing to learn from it. So instead of emotionally attaching yourself to your business, taking it personally, like we've spoken about before, you need to actually detach yourself from that and realize that it's just information, it's just testing, and everything will become clear the more you test and with the more information that you gather. Okay, pillar number 2 to getting to that first 5K month, and then of course keeping it consistent, because that's what we want to do, is niching. Now, I talk a lot about niching. I've made several YouTube videos about niching, and I will link to that below this video. Now, the reason I talk about this so much is because it's really, really important. And early on in your business, this is one of the biggest determinants of success. So to this day, I've never had a health coach come to me who was struggling, not making money, not getting clients, who had a clearly defined niche. Every single time I look at their niche and I actually don't know who they help, and I'm really confused about what they do. So it's incredibly important to be specific with who you are talking to. So you should be able to tell a 12-year-old, this is what I do, and they shouldn't ask any questions for you, right? They should understand it. Like, it should be really clear to a child, because if it's not clear, if you tell people what you do and they're like, so like, does that mean you do this? Or like, okay, like if people are confused when you tell them who you help and what problem you solve, then there's something wrong with your niche, right? So it's really important to choose a niche that people can relate to. It needs to be a problem that they actually have. They need to literally lie awake at night, lose sleep over this problem that they have. Like, it's that debilitating, because if it's not, they're not going to pay for it. So a good example would be anxiety. Anxiety is a great niche because it's something people are really struggling with, and it's debilitating, and people will pay to get rid of it, right? What is a bad niche is saying something like, I help people improve their mindset. I mean, most people aren't aware that their mindset needs a makeover, right? And they're not losing sleep over that, right? Or another example of a bad niche would be, I help people eat a healthier diet. Most people aren't stressing about that, and they may actually pay money for that one, but they're not going to pay a lot of money for it, right? We want to become specialists, and we want to become experts in these very specific sub markets of the overall market. And the reason for that is because we want people to actually pay us well for the service and the program that we offer. Okay, number 3 is sales. Okay, and please notice that I haven't mentioned websites yet. A lot of people jump the gun with websites, and that's the first thing that they do. But I really encourage that you actually hold off on this until you truly understand your niche, your brand, and what you're actually selling. Once you have those things in place, you will have a much easier time developing a website. Do not spend hundreds, thousands of dollars in the beginning until you are hyper clear and focused on what you're actually doing. So this I like to put at the front end of the pillars, just because a lot of coaches, they do all these things, they get out there, start doing stuff on social media, but if someone actually reaches out to them and is like, hey, I'm interested in, what you have to offer, if you don't have anything to sell them, then you're losing a sale. So it's really important that really early on in you building your business that you figure out what your program is. And I call this the signature program. Now, I'm gonna link below this video to a video I have done on signature programs, because I don't want you out there selling one-off sessions, because you will never hit 5K per month. You will burn yourself out. You will hate your clients. You'll feel scattered, overwhelmed, and you might give up. So please do not sell one-off sessions. It is a recipe for disaster. You want to create a signature program. I've done a lot of content around this. And again, check out those videos that I will link to below this video so that you can truly understand what that is and how that's actually gonna help you hit that first 5K month and start hitting that consistently. Now, I would love to know, do you have a signature program? If you do, give me a yes in the comments below and just let me know. I always like to know generally how many of my audience are actually doing signature programs versus one-off sessions. Okay, pillar number 4 is attraction, right? You need to learn how to attract people into your world in order to sell to them, right? We need to be in this constant process of bringing what we call cold leads. These are people who have never met you before, they've never seen you, and we need to do things to continually attract them into our world so that we can nurture them, warm them up, and eventually sell to them. So if you are going to attract people online, you need to actually show up in places that your ideal client is hanging out. Now, social media is great for this, right? But a big mistake that new coaches make is they try to be everywhere at once and on all the platforms. This is a little piece of information I'm going to give you. Other online business owners who you see on all the platforms, they're actually not showing up on all the platforms. And I guarantee they have a social media manager and content creator who is helping them with that. So you might notice that I'm on Pinterest, I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Where else am I? I'm somewhere else. I must be somewhere else. I'm on a podcast too. The Wealthy Coach podcast. Great podcast. I'll link to that below this video if you want to check that out. But basically, the reason I'm able to be in all those places is because I have a fantastic virtual assistant who repurposes this content for me. The places that I'm actually creating unique content for is Instagram and YouTube, right? Again, the only reason I can do 2 of those is because I have help. So as a new online business owner, choose one platform and really master it. Really get to know how to utilize it and try to use it to actually build relationships and interact with your people. Now, in terms of which social media platform should you be using, it really depends on where your ideal clients are hanging out. So I had a friend reach out to me the other day, and his sister is a fashion designer, and he was wondering, well, what would be a good place for her to start for marketing? And I instantly thought of Pinterest, right? Because I know a lot of women use Pinterest for shopping and looking at style and looking at outfit creation. Is that a word? Do people create outfits? I think they do. So I instantly thought of Pinterest because I was like, wow, Pinterest is really cool because if you built a Pinterest board, it would be a really great way to drive traffic to her online store. Now, if you have a different niche, for example, maybe you help teachers, okay? Maybe you help online educators. So LinkedIn might actually be a good platform for you because you can actually find people based on their job title, because people on LinkedIn create the profile and they will say in it what they do for their profession. So if you are targeting a specific profession, then LinkedIn might really be your jam, right? Now, if you are targeting maybe an older population, people in sort of that 60 plus zone, Facebook might actually be the best platform for you to work with because, well, I think most people are on Facebook these days, but I'm not sure how many older people are on Instagram or TikTok or any of these other platforms, right? So Facebook might actually be your platform. So this is why it's really important to define your ideal client and figure out, well, who are you actually talking to? Because that will help you figure out where you should focus your time on social media. Okay, the 5th pillar of any successful business, and especially one that you want to generate $5K per month consistently, is what I call experience. So it's experience for your clients, but it's also experience for you. So this is all about creating the best customer service experience and program experience for your clients. A lot of coaches, as soon as they make the sale, they kind of slack off, right? But really the work is just beginning. And it's really up to you to create a program that is completely transformational, right? And where your client has a really good time inside your program. It's easy to get hold of you. They know who to reach out with when they have what question. They have the resources they need. It's easy for them to schedule. You want everything to be really set up and your onboarding process to be really easy and straightforward, because the truth is, if it's a gong show and it's really disorganized, and if clients are confused and you keep changing things and they just don't really understand what's going on, that is going to reflect badly on you, and they are not going to continue to be your client, and they are not going to recommend you to others. So I am a huge proponent of creating a sustainable business. So this means if you are someone who cares about freedom and having extra time, you need to focus on sustainability, which means that a very important part of this is creating return customers. So it's way easier to sell to someone who is already your client than to constantly be out there finding new clients. So that's why the customer experience really needs to be impressive. Now, your experience, this comes down to systems and making your life easier. You want to figure out how not to reinvent the wheel every time you onboard a new client. So you want to make things as simple as possible so that you have a standard operating procedure every time you onboard a new client, and you can logically figure out where every client is in their program, when their payment plans are coming out, and you just want it all to be in one system, and you want to be able to organize yourself properly when it comes to projects as well. So It's really important to set up these systems. It does take time, but one really important tip that I can give you is to make sure that you write a how-to for each and every task that you do in your business. And it could be a written how-to. You want to keep it all in something like a Google document. And let's say, the operating procedures for social media, for example. So you want to have a step-by-step on how you do everything. The reason for this is at some point you're going to outsource this and you're going to hire a virtual assistant, and it's going to be way easier to bring them in when you already have everything written down. Now, another tool you can use is called Loom. That's Loome.com. And this is just a quick video screen share recording thing. So if you want to create a how-to in video form, you can do that in Loom, and it will give you the link once you're done recording, and you can always just link to that instead of writing everything down. So that can just make it a little bit faster. And so this is really important, like I said, for any time you're bringing someone new into your business, because you can just hand over your manual. And it's really important that if you do hire someone that they update it, because if they quit, you don't want to be screwed over either, and you want to be able to just pass that on to someone else. So client experience and your personal experience are really important for sustainability inside your business. Okay, so if you want to go through these 5 pillars in much greater detail and actually get all the strategy, the mindset, the tools, the tech, the systems for consistently making 5K in your business, and then being able to take that and turn that into a 10K per month business. This is what's going to be inside my Health Coach Accelerator program. This is not available yet, but it will be available in the next few weeks. So if you were interested in getting on our VIP list, you can click the join link just below this video. And just so you know, VIPs will get early access, and they're going to get bonuses that I don't offer elsewhere. And that typically is a big price discount that no one else gets. So that is why you want to be on the wait list. Okay, so if you like this video, I would love it if you would let me know by liking it, subscribing it, or sharing it with anyone who you believe it will help. I would love that. And if this video helped clear some things up, just give me a thumbs up in the comments so I know. So go build that awesome business, and shoot me a message on Instagram if you want to connect and ask me any questions.